I'd like to call March Landing Facility Management Committee meeting into order. Roll call.
Yes, sir. Mr. LaFont? Mr. Wright?
Here.
Ms. Fertitta?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Item number 2, Domain, Ingram Williams. To receive a report from Ingram Williams on Hurricane Ida reports. Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Ingrid.
The current project we have going on is at Golden Meadow Middle School, and right now, we are working on project 4, 5, and 10. It's in progress. It's on time. It's with, PCOLA Construction, and they are in the midst of working on the cafeteria and the gym at the moment, doing the renovations and repairs in there. They've already redid a part of the field house, the exterior, put the handrails back up on the ramps and everything. So it's going along great at this point, pretty smoothly. They're on schedule and, working pretty good. The other project we have out there is, actually a Golden Meadow demo project and campus improvements. It bid on March the 13th, I think. And so we're in progress of that now, recommending Delcon Construction for the bid for that project. So the base bid alternates $202. So we're getting ready to get going on that.
Any comments?
Welcome. It's nice to see you, young lady.
Yes, I'm glad y'all got to meet her.
her.
She's been doing a lot of work for the district.
I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stay for 1 second,
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
move on to item B.
So item B, to consider bids for the Hurricane Ida Golden Meadow Middle School demolition and campus improvement project.
Go ahead, Mr. John.
Yes, the recommended action is to accept the low bid from Delcon LLC with a base bid of $5,392,000. Alternate number 1 in the amount of $1,702,000, and alternate number 2 in the amount of $216,000 for a total bid amount of $7,310,000 with a design fee in the sum of $634,986.34 for a total project amount of $7,944,986.34 for the Hurricane Ida Golden Meadow Middle School demolition and campus improvement project.
We have a motion. Motion by Ms. Petita, second by myself. Do we have any public comments? Any board discussions?
A long time coming.
Well, Ingrid, could you explain the alternates? Alternate 1 is,
It is the owner upgrade for the auditorium, for the existing auditorium building. We are working to turn the auditorium space into the new library, as it will be, the existing old building had too much damage. So we're demoing it as a part of this project, and we're moving the library into the old auditorium. And then in the admin area, we're reworking some of the offices in the entry to make a single point entry, a little safer for everybody, a little single point entry vestibule.
so the alternate 1 is basically non-IDA. It's
Yeah.
owner
Oh, okay.
upgrades, right? It's gonna repurpose the big hall, the great hall into the library. It's gonna add some safety improvements and some security improvements, right? So Ms. Chastity's not here, but I believe the funding source for that is safety and general
Safety and construction.
safety and construction. You're right. Yes, and then alternate 2 is for the current project that we have going on right now for the roof on the main building, right? This is basically a plan B. If we can't get the current contractor to comply with the contract, right? We're gonna, and this all involves Mr. Pat and everything else, right? This is a plan B that we have it in the scope to turn them loose, right? We had a big meeting this morning on it. We will likely not recommend accepting it when we go to full board, but until we get there, for us to be protected, we're recommending you accept it.
Like we're proactive.
Yes, yes, and this amount, right, is already approved, the funding, right? And if it ends up that it's worst case scenario, we'll be collecting it back from the contractor. So there's not a money that we're asking for this 216.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I have one question. No, I just wanted to say that I love the idea of putting the library in that big room. That is beautiful idea. That is the prettiest area in that school. So I'm glad
It
you know.
is, and we're refurbishing it, but keeping all the existing, features and using the existing material with the new, just to keep the look and the feel, trying to anyway, so.
Including repurposing the stage, right? That old stage, right, doesn't get used day to day. So we're gonna make some PLC spaces and some teacher spaces behind there. But we're gonna leave the look and everything of it. So it's still gonna have the curtain, and from the outside, it'll still look exactly the same. You know, it's a showpiece of that room, that and the lion, right?
Yeah, it does make sense because the auditorium hasn't been used as assembly space in a long time. The gym has been used for that purpose, so it's making use of space. So essentially, you know, saving money on the build side of the new building that we don't need that square footage for the library. So it's got some thought behind it. I like it.
Any other comments? None, vote. That vote carries.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Ingrid. You could go. She came from Baton Rouge.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Safe
Your
travel.
family be there with open arms.
Item number 3, Silas O'Brien. To receive a report from Doug Dorsey on the fan coil unit replacement project at Cutoff Elementary School. Mr. Dorsey. Good evening.
We received bids on Cutoff Elementary School fan coil replacement at the beginning of the month. We accepted the bids. The contractor was Blue Incorporated out of Houma, and just starting the contract execution. I think the contractor signed it, and we forwarded it to the school board. I think they received it yesterday. We're just kicking off this project. And there's really no work has been performed as of yet.
Lead time.
There's about 8-week lead time once the contract is executed and the contractor orders the equipment. So we are eager to start.
Yes.
So are we.
We once we have all the contracts signed, we're going to schedule a pre-construction with the school staff, right? And we'll be able to work out, and by that time, we'll have a schedule that we'll be able to present.
Yes.
That'll kind of have a timeline of how this is
We're
going
going to
to
trust the schedule and
I think Ms. Collins kind of
lead time, equipment deliveries, and all of that stuff.
is planning on maybe like a block of 4 classrooms at a time that she's going to allow us to work on. So
Yes, because that involves testing time too.
yes.
So we have to work around that, yes.
Yes, and the contractors are well aware, and it's in the construction documents, that he has to work around the school board's construction schedule.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsey.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Doug. And Doug's from Lafayette, you too.
Safe travel.
Travels.
Item number 4, Godson Holloway Cortez. A, to receive a report from Justin Cortez on the St. Charles Elementary School Classroom Addition Project. Mr. Cortez?
Good evening, board members. How y'all doing? And, I'll give you all a quick rundown of the project. The contractor is currently paid in, percentage paid and pending is about 44%, and they're at about 63% of time elapsed. I think we're going to start seeing some good progress since we have walls and a roof on the building now. So just to give you all an idea of where we are, they have installed all the concrete block work, and the roof deck and steel is all erected and in place. They're currently installing roof insulation and blackening the building, so we should be dried in within the next couple months. They're going to start weatherproofing the concrete blocks and filling them with insulating foam, along with applying the liquid applied vapor barrier that will go on the exterior of the concrete block. They've completed a masonry mock-up that we have reviewed. They're making a few modifications to it. I think we all agreed that the grout color was a little dark, so they're going to lighten it up and show us another sample of that. And then we're going to review that, get that approved, and let's see. Sprinkler system work has begun in the building, which is about 50% complete, and they're starting all their above ceiling plumbing and electrical rough-ins, and they have the HVAC ductwork should be beginning within the next 2 weeks. So we also have some photos for you guys to see the progress on site. This is just kind of a general site photo that shows in front of the main building, the new building. Next one. And this is just kind of looking down the side of the building. You see the roof edge is kind of.
So you also moved the power line over to the edge of the property.
Would I do that? You gonna do that or that?
Intergy did it in cooperation, and I don't want to mention her name wrong, but the neighbor there was also very helpful in complete agreement with everything we asked for.
There's some interior photos. You can see the sprinkler piping going in, some of the mechanical equipment's being hung from the roof deck. Contractor has gone in and cleaned up the walls pretty good. We're going to be reviewing that early next week. They're getting ready for priming all the block work on the interior of the building. This is a typical classroom. You can see they're starting to hang everything from the roof deck. This is the back side, kind of looking at the courtyard area. All that's going to be paved, and we're going to have new outdoor play space right there for the students. It's a corridor shot looking right past the student restrooms. I think this is a shot looking down towards the admin area of the classroom building. And another typical classroom. And again, the admin corridor. And this is the main lobby. This is probably the last of the block work that has to go up here. They're waiting on that bullet resistant window that goes in. So once they get that in place, they'll be able to frame that wall up and do that. So that's looking toward your main dormitory door area. Some site work that's going on. They're tearing out the old canopy that was between the existing building and the new building. We're going to be running some subsurface drainage in that location. And that's the masonry mock-up wall that was built to show all the details of the window and the block and the brick and insulation and how the wall is constructed.
And that is the Connex box behind it is called Triton.
Oh. Yeah, all the windows aren't going to have writing in them.
Everyone who's seen that picture has wondered why we find right on windows. But that's it. That's the new color mortar.
No, that's still the old one, but they said they've constructed a section on that mock-up with a lighter mortar, color mortar, for us to take a look at.
We're going to try and see if we can get a little lighter color comparing to the other school. We couldn't find the exact match on the brick, right? So this is a close match brick-wise. We're going to try a little lighter color on the mortar.
Any questions?
Thank you. Item number 5, share request Bruce. 8, to receive a report from Daniel Bruce on the LaFourche Parish School District Bus Yard Facility Project. Mr. Daniel.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We have a pre-construction conference scheduled for Friday with an anticipated notice to proceed effective April 1st, 300 calendar day contract time, which projects substantial completion sometime in February of 2026. The goal would be later in the year to have all of the limestone parking available for bus fleet parking. And then they can still be going up with the building. But that's kind of where we are. We have a meeting Friday. Contracts are, I believe, with the school board right now. We're going to be delivering those to the contractor on Friday for recordation.
Receive a report from Mr. Daniel Bruce on Hurricane Ida projects.
Right, so the only one we have, well, we got Golden Meadow Lower Elementary School, South Fuchs High School renovations, repairs. So Golden Meadow, all of the portable modular buildings have been demolished. So that is all cleaned up and gone. We are in the submittals. We've gotten the roofing submittal from the contractor. So we're going to be waiting on materials to be delivered to the job site so they can begin roofing work. We did find, and that's one of the next items, I believe, some wet roof areas that we need to address via change order. So we'll discuss that in a second. So in South Fuchs High School, they've done some interior work at the auditorium to fill in some walls and a couple of knick-knack items around that campus. And then again, we're waiting on some lighting to arrive so that we can put up some new lights in a couple of different areas.
C, to consider a change order request for Hurricane Ida repairs at Golden Meadow Lower Elementary School and South Lafourche High School.
Yes, sir, Mr. Wright. The recommended action is to accept the change order request for Hurricane Ida repairs in the sum of $103,250.73 at the Golden Meadow Lower Elementary School and South Lafourche High School project. The breakdown is $737 to replace 2 light fixtures at South Lafourche High School, $92,250 to remove and replace 3,400 square feet of wet insulation board at Golden Meadow Lower Elementary, and there would be a design professional fee increase of $10,263.73.
Motion. Motion by Mr. Teeter, second by myself. Any public comments? Any board discussion?
The wet insulation, that was something that was found after, went in and started doing some work.
Yeah, they did if you walk on the roof, you can't tell that anything's wrong with it. They did a scan of the roof with a Tramex machine, and they discovered the wet insulation, and the manufacturer won't let us just put it on top of wet insulation. So we got to take the wet stuff out, put new fill material in, and then put the roof system back on.
We had done original moisture mapping right following Ida, and this project, now that we're getting to it, the manufacturer wanted to scan it again, right? Which is why we did another moisture scan.
I don't know that we ever did a moisture scan. This was strictly based on the damage that we saw visually, right? That we saw visually on the roof, which wasn't terribly bad. I mean, a couple of scratches, a couple of knickknacks here and there, but this moisture scan picked up a little bit more.
This was the first moisture scan, and it was directed by requested by the manufacturer. That's going to warranty you.
Because we don't want another incident with like mold in a building.
Well, what's going to happen if we keep the moisture in there, it'll just create a big blister in the roof system, and then it'll avoid the warranty. So
This is the roof system that they were torching, like.
So that was what they were doing at the hood system.
Okay.
When we put the hood in for the kitchen. So it's similar roof system.
Because I actually saw them on that roof, like at night. It was a little bit alarming to see.
They have to, it depends a lot on the weather. Like it has to get to a certain degree during the day, and then also when it cools down, right? Because they want to catch that moisture. It's going to show a temperature difference before it reacclimates to the nighttime weather. So
If you get bored, like the details in the attachment, it's pretty impressive how it goes in to show you exactly where.
Yeah, we got a little dot matrix printer showing like complete saturation versus 30% saturation. And we did, I actually have a map, we'll bring it, do have a meeting tomorrow out there for a monthly coordination meeting, that I have a new sketch that kind of projects where we're gonna be replacing insulation, so that gives them a guide. Because they gotta tear down, we did a core the other day, it's, at the thickest part, it's about 8.5 inches thick of insulation, so it's a well-insulated roof.
And Bob, this change order is in line with FEMA, right? As far as we're being covered.
Most of it's unit pricing, the additional insulation is not covered by unit price, but we have a in principle agreement with the contractor that of a unit cost. So, a lot of it is addressed by unit pricing, which is a good thing. We didn't have to fight with anybody about what they were gonna charge you. We pre-bid that, so.
Any comments? Vote. Motion carries. Item D, to consider bids for the Hurricane Ida HVAC renovation project at Salafouche High School.
The recommended action is to accept a low bid from Balut Inc. with a base bid of $8,113,700 and add a design fee in the amount of $549,864 for a total project amount of $8,663,564 for the Hurricane Ida Salafouche High School HVAC renovations project.
Second that. Any public comments? Any board discussions?
Is this replacing the whole HVAC system or just parts of it?
This is nearly a replacement of everything that's there. All of the vertical fan coil units are being replaced. All of the ductwork is being replaced. And, Robert, most is the air handle units being replaced or being cleaned?
There are some that are being cleaned, there are some that are being replaced.
And then we're adding some, chiller and, outdoor, dedicated outdoor air units as well.
Any other comments?
How many bids did we
4
have?
total bids.
4 total.
We had the second bid was like $11,000 away from the low bid.
The pattern was pretty tight, so we were all within.
Any comments? Let's vote. That motion carries. Item 6. Cash
Good
announcement.
evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Item 6, cash announcement, Goodwin Utley Engineers LLC. A, to receive a report from Mr. Robert Utley on the boiler replacement at Bayou Blue Middle School. Mr. Robert.
Thank you, got the name right.
I'm practicing enough.
Thumbs up on that one. This is a boiler replacements. We're replacing the 2 boilers at Bayou Blue Middle School. The original contract sum was $216,198. We were also installing a roll-up door. I don't know if you remember us talking about this. Contract's pretty short, 60 days. We've got 21 days elapsed with a percent time lapse of 68.3% at the time of the report. So they are getting kind of close to there of needing to get it wrapped up, and they did have a little bit of a delay on them, which will be discussed a little bit later. But everything's moving along well. They're doing good. Things are getting hooked up. So we're waiting on them to do startup on it and get it done. Any questions?
Item B, to receive a report from Mr. Robert Utley on Hurricane Ida projects. Robert.
This is for the Galliano Elementary School, what's called the Annex Building. It's for outside air renovations on the school. The system was damaged during Ida, and this is a original contract sum of this of $271,400. The project's supposed to be, we've got a deadline of July 15th on this project, and we are in line for getting that done. We're just waiting on some signing of some contracts.
Just a reminder on this coming this late on the Galliana project is due to right after Ida, we got everything back running, right? So it wasn't put on any list, but it has since failed, right? And Roberts was able to determine that it was moisture and everything else that caused it to fail. We did our due diligence with FEMA on our claim, and that's why this is kind of coming now, even though the major work at Galliano was completed 6 months ago.
The panels got blown all off the unit, outdoor units, and they received damage from it. It was, we had photos from right after the event, Ida event, that proves that. So.
C, to consider a change order request for the boiler replacement project at Bayou Blue Middle School.
Yes, sir. Mr. Wright, the recommended action is to accept a change order request to add 14 days to the contract due to delays in the manufactured equipment for the Bayou Blue Middle School boiler replacement project.
Motion by Ms. Petita, second by myself. Any public comments? Any board discussion? If not, let's vote. That motion carries. D, to consider bids for the sanitation piping renovation project at South Lafourche High School.
Yes, sir. The recommended action is to accept the low bid from Volute Inc. with a base bid of $167,300 and alternate number one in the amount of $19,500 for a total bid amount of $186,800 with the addition of a design fee of $21,995 for a total project amount of $208,795 for the South Lafourche High School sanitation piping renovation project.
Motion by Ms. Petita, second by myself. Any public comments? Any board discussion? Let's vote. That motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Item 7, Planners Design Group. 8, to receive a report from Mr. Stephen Bergery on the Fieldhouse roof projects at Central Lafourche High School and Thibodeau High School.
And it's Mr. Blaze Dufresne.
Sorry about that,
No
Mr.
problem.
Blaze.
No problem.
Sorry about that. Charge to my head, not my heart. Sorry about that.
How y'all doing tonight? The Fieldhouse roof replacements. I'm currently working on the construction documents, and we do intend to advertise on April 15th. We're on track for that and receive bids on May 20th. And we're hoping to get a recommendation to the board and getting a notice to proceed on that project by mid-June.
Thank you. B, to receive a report from Mr. Blaze Dufresne on Hurricane Ida reports. Mr. Dufresne.
Yeah. So the first one I have is Bayou Blue Middle School Gymnasium re-roof. We gave you a recommendation at the last meeting and, y'all accepted it. So, I believe contracts have been signed and we have a pre-bid conference scheduled with a notice to proceed on next Tuesday, April 1st. And they have 100 days to finish the job so we can get completed prior to the start of next school year.
Thank you, Mr. Dufresne.
Okay. And then the other one that I have right now is the repairs to the multiple locations of the Catch Me All project that we had. And we advertised that on March 13th. It's currently out for bid, and we're going to be accepting bids on April 10th.
Thank you, Mr. Dufresne. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you, please.
Item A, All South, Mr. Bob Bernard. A, to receive a report from Mr. Bob Bernard with All South Consulting on Hurricane Ida damages. Mr. Bernard.
Thank you. Go ahead to the pictures, Ashley. We'll start there. Central Lafourche and Thibodeau High School. The steel repairs are complete. So the next phase will be the painting. Go on to the next. This is a good picture showing the damages on the right. That's taken from underneath one of the beams. You can see how it rusted out. And they attached a new coupler to connect a new rod. And if you look at the picture on the left, that's the repair from looking at it on top. So that was done at about 33 locations out of 100 that had this type of condition. Another repair, just a different type, but same thing where they had to extend the anchor rods and put new steel to support it. Continue on. Dots are just showing you what was new and added. So just more repairs. That's fine, you can go on. This is, go to Meadow Lower, this is where the buildings were. I don't have a before picture, but that was 3 buildings that were there that are now gone. So that's final dress and grade, ready for facade or proceed. This is where the 2 portables were. Next to car line, looking at the front of the building to the right, there were 2 portables, those 2 also gone. For the metal, we got progress on the roof. So that's the low slope roof that is just about complete. They have some edge work left to do, some gutters they need to put in, but that's the new roofing. The other picture just kind of shows you the ice and water shield as it is. That's where the metal roof will go. Still in good shape, so we feel confident that we don't have any issues with that. They also completed the roof hardening on the main structure of the old building. Not that you needed it. It was been there for 100+ years, right?
But it's got hurricane straps now.
Yeah. So the dots are kind of showing the different types of hurricane straps. You can go on to the next one. The yellow dots were put just to indicate that even back in the day, they understood the importance of tying a roof end to the truss. And those were metal straps, not, pretty heavy gauge. They put them every 4 feet. So they were there existing. The rafter you see is 3 sandwich 2x10s, real 2x10s bolted. So there's a reason why that roof withstood, many hurricanes. But anyway, we added more just to be safe. And this is, I know we talked about, but this is some of the repairs being done by Piciola. The picture on the right was a window wall that got blown out, and instead of putting the window wall back, decided less maintenance, just put a hardy board wall on the outside and sheetrock on the inside. And then you continue on. That's the old field house, which didn't have much left after Ida, but they fixed it with a new canopy or porch covering. Next one, and that was this was one of the owner upgrades. The picture on the left was a rotted wood from termite infestation, and then the picture on the right is repaired. This is at Bayou Elementary. Yeah, they finished all the abatement. They're wrapping it up, so they have to abate the buildings before they can tear them down, mainly for lead in this case. And you have to dig a perimeter out to pick up any of the lead chips that fell during abatement. About a 4-foot perimeter of 6 inches deep that they dig out. So that's being done or should be completed by now. The next picture, I think, shows basically the final product. right? So all the walls have been stripped, all the lead's abated, and now it's ready for demolition, which is scheduled to start on Monday. And right now, John, if I remember correctly, they had it scheduled by several weeks, I think. Yeah. So they're gonna have this demoed, starting Monday. They'll start with the portable buildings and then demo the wood buildings. They should be done sometimes in early June. All right, and if you go back up, well, let's see, that's one more picture, huh? What is that? Yeah, same thing. You can go back up to page 1 and 2. We'll go through the other projects real quick. 5 and 6 on the report is our friends from FEMA. So still waiting for news from them. Mr. Henry's not here to question anymore, so
Wait and see.
yeah, wait and see. Yeah. Look, we're actively, pursuing this. We've contacted the people we can contact as high as we can go. We're just waiting. But we feel, I think, relatively optimistic because some of these have been pretty far along already. So once we get back where it needs to be, we feel pretty confident things are going to start to happen. The Mansard roof number 7, we have a meeting with the designer, that's Andy Positeri, I think in about 2 or 3 weeks. And we're going to start developing and designing this roof system. It's going to take him about 4 to 6 weeks to finish design. So maybe in about 2 months, we'll be ready to start advertising and get that roof system going at Central Lafourche High School. That's the Mansard roof. And then building 500 at Bayou Blue, this is another FEMA project that we added on. That's a complicated project, and we're waiting on FEMA to assign a specialist that understands building construction to look at this one because it is complex. But again, waiting on FEMA for this one. So I think that's all we have. Go on to the next page. Coming up for bids, upcoming bids, we already talked about the multiple locations that's going to open in April. And then Bayou Buff Elementary, the new classroom building is on schedule to advertise in May, and bid opening would be in April. That's a big project. Okay? And then go all the way down to the last page, Ashley, if you would. And this is the last thing. This is just the updated schedule. Again, tracking, mentioned this before. Anything in gray shows work complete. And the red vertical line, should match up with the gray, and then the purple is work remaining. So you can tell if you're behind schedule, ahead of schedule, based on the current time frame of today's date compared to work done with work remaining. Anything in blue is work yet to start. So it's a good place to go to if you want to see where projects are falling and where we are with everything. Okay, any questions?
One question, at Bayou Buff, that was the paint that had lead in it that y'all had to?
Right. They can't catch it all, so they know something's gonna fall on the ground, and they just have to scoop up the dirt and treat that separately. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Bob. Item 9, new business. A, to receive a report from lead accountant Sasha Chesson in reference to ongoing project budgets.
I'll read this for her. She could not make it tonight. The board has 2 major construction funds, 2017 bond and a 2021 bond. The 2017 bond has a total referendum of 19.8 million. Total budgets for these projects are 19.8 million. Actuals spent to date with encumbrances total 17.9 million, and remaining funds are all obligated. The 2021 bond has a total referendum of 52.9 million. Total budget for these projects are 52.9 million. Actuals spent to date with encumbrances total 41.4 million, and all funds are obligated.
B, to consider bids for camp lease at BR1, Section 16, Township 19 South, Range 22 East, Bayou Raphael.
Yes, this is a Section 16 property. The recommended action is to accept the bid for our camp lease from Tig Guidry for the high bid amount of $530 annually.
Motion by Ms. Fatida, second by myself. Any public comments? Any board discussions? Vote. That action passed. C, to consider a one-year lease for the LPG polling access plan.
Yes, the recommended action is to accept a one-year lease with an automatic renewal for the LaFouche Parish Government polling access plan for the exclusive use of leased premises on election days.
Motion by Ms. Fatida, second by myself. Any public comments? Any board discussion?
This was some housekeeping that was done. I combined all the campuses that they lease all into one lease, so we don't have to come with each one. And also, we did some housekeeping on some words, on ADA accessibility, voting accessibility, right? To include that if there are voting requirements that the school needs, that it would be up to the parish to pay for that added cost, not the school district. And then we also added drawings that show the exact area that they're leasing. And we extended their liability for the building for the entire polling activities. Before it was just actual election day. So it's just covering the district a little better. You should give consideration.
Any other board discussion? Not the vote. That's passed. Item D, to consider a change order request for Hurricane Ida repairs to the Bayou Bluff Elementary School demolition project.
Yes, sir, Mr. Wright, the recommended action is to accept the change order request for Hurricane Ida repairs in the sum of $8,752.39 and add 2 additional days to the contract for additional asbestos abatement at the Bayou Bluff Elementary School demolition project. The breakdown is $5,686.39 for additional asbestos abatement, increase of $3,066 for professional fees, and to add 2 additional days for the work.
Motion by Ms. Fatida, second by myself. Any public comments? Any board discussion?
This was some piping that was inside the attic space that wasn't found until they started opening the school. Y'all seen the pictures where they opened the wall. And this, I think, was like 4 flues that were found that had asbestos in it. That's why we're bringing it as a change order.
Any other discussion? Not, let's vote. That action passed. Item 10, if there are not any other business or comments, this meeting is adjourned.